Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. There are some basic terms that are used in genetics which are very essential in order to learn in detail about it. So we would, without wasting our time, we will go through all these basic terms one by one. Heredity. The passing of genetic traits from parent to offspring. So we can say it is the process by which the characters are transferred from one generation to the other. Character, a heritable feature that varies amongst individuals. For example, structures, shapes, eye color, skin color, color of various fruits which are there in the plants, and also the height. So these are the heritable features which are obtained from the parents, but they vary amongst the individuals. Trait. It is inherited character and its variant. For example, a trait here is stem height, but the variants are tall and dwarfness. So these are the variants which we see in various individuals. For example, seed color, green and yellow. Similarly with the pod color. Shape of the seeds, wrinkled and round. In humans we have free earlobes and attached lobes. Again in plants we have pink flowers or white flowers. Hitchhiker's thumb, some are dominant, some are recessive. So all these are inherited characteristics which are obtained from the parents, but they vary from each other, individuals to individuals. Genes. Now Mendelian factors are now known as gene, which is the unit of heredity or inheritance, or we can say it is the unit of information from a particular individual. We also know that these Mendelian factors or genes pass from one generation to other. So this way the genes that are present in the chromosomes and in the DNA, it will be passed from one generation to other. And this occurs due to sexual reproduction, by which the gametes which will carry the characteristics, and it will be transferred from the parents to the offspring. Genes or Mendelian factors are considered to be present in the linear fashion on the chromosomes. So we can also define a gene as a unit of inheritance which consists of segment of chromosome and are responsible to express a particular characteristics. So what do we say? It is the unit of inheritance which consists of segment of chromosome. You can see here there are the segment of chromosomes which is responsible to show a particular characteristic or a trait which has been expressed in the offspring, and some characteristics that are hidden, and these are present in the DNA. In the DNA, chemically if we say, that is the nucleic acid, okay, which has the genetic information which is being transferred from one generation to other. Alleles. Alleles are pair of genes on same locus in a homologous chromosomes which controls a trait. We already know trait is a characteristic. So for a particular characteristic there are pair of genes which are located at same locus on the homologous chromosomes. We should recall that homologous chromosomes are obtained from both the parents in the diploid organism from sexual reproduction. So pair of genes will be located at same locus on the homologous chromosomes. So whatever trait which has been considered, that particular trait will have or will be present on the same locus on both the chromosomes. It is not that anywhere else that particular trait will be found. Similarly, we see that here in this particular figure, we see that there are many place or locations or the locus where different alleles are been located, and same are the location which we see on the other chromosome too. So, it is for a particular trait there will be a particular location and they will be always in paired form. So, we should recall that when these homologous chromosome pair, that time the set of chromosomes which are obtained from both the parents have same characteristics on their chromosomes. Maybe there can be variant. So, we can also call alleles as variant of a particular characteristic. So, we should remember that these alleles are in the coded form. So, one code comes from mother and other code comes from father. So, we usually denote it as the letters which we can mention in order to denote that particular characteristic. For example, in these particular homologous chromosomes meant for the height in the human. So, we can say in one allele there is one code, that is capital T, whereas on the other allele there is small t. That indicates that the alleles or genes are alternative forms. That means there are the variants of genes which we can see in an individual. So, earlier these alleles were mentioned to have alternate forms of gene. So, this particular example indicates that one allele will be meant for tallness, whereas other allele will be meant for dwarfness. Now, again we should remember that capital T or capital letters are meant for dominant gene or dominant characteristic, whereas small letters are used for recessive characteristic. The term allele is now used for similar as well as dissimilar factors. Say for example, in this particular figure there are dissimilar factors as well as similar factors which are being shown. So, homologous chromosomes are of same size, have the same genetic information, and the letters which are shown in this particular diagram stands for a particular allele. So, A is a particular allele, B is different allele, C is different allele, and so on. But we should notice that on the homologous chromosome, both the alphabets are present at the same location, that is corresponding to other homologous chromosome. Now, what is important here is to denote that there are similar factors as well as dissimilar factors which are present. We should write down either in the capital or in the lower case. So, it depends which one is dominant and which one is recessive, which will indicate a particular characteristic in an individual. So, allele A or gene A, the alleles are heterozygous since both are different, having different factors, capital A and small a, whereas capital B are homozygous since they are similar, the factors are similar. But capital letters are always dominant. So, we can say it is heterozygous dominant. Capital B are homozygous dominant. Capital C, small c is heterozygous dominant, but small d and small d are homozygous, similar factors, but it is dwarf, or we can say it is the homozygous recessive one. For example, if it was meant for any particular characteristic, then it would be, say for example, tall plants or dwarf plants, we can say that small d which is meant for dwarfness, but usually we should remember that capital T is meant for tallness, small t is meant for dwarfness. But we can take an example small d as homozygous recessive allelic pair that is present. Similarly, small e, capital E are the heterozygous dominant allele pair, whereas capital F are homozygous dominant allelic pair. So, for example, we have here seed color yellow and green seeds. If you see here, the genes that are present or alleles that are present are capital Y. So, it is homozygous. capital Y, small y, so it is heterozygous. Now since the gene or allele or factor that is dominant here is capital Y, therefore both the seeds are yellow in color, whereas the green seeds have small y indicates that it is, though it is homozygous, but it is the recessive characteristics. So based on whatever features or whatever factors that are present on these homologous chromosomes, accordingly those particular factors will be seen, or the characteristics will be passed from one generation to other, that is from parents to offsprings. And we should remember that some of the characteristics will be hidden, which will be called as recessive, and the one which is expressed are the dominant one. Gene locus. It is the region of chromosome representing a single gene. As it is given single gene, that indicates for a particular trait or characteristic, there is a particular locus or location or position on the homologous chromosome. So the location which is there on one chromosome will be same location will be present on the other chromosome too. For example, this red color which is shown here at a particular point is meant for only one particular characteristic, and that is gene for temperature regulation. Now if you see here, both the location or both the genes are marked as red, indicate that it is a similar factors that are seen on homologous chromosome. Second example we can take, that is present on some other location on the same chromosome, that is gene for eye color. Now the color, if you see, it indicates that these are the variants of alleles that are present, that is alternative form of alleles. For example, or alternative form of genes. For example, though the trait is same, but there are variant. On one allele it is blue eyes, and on the other allele that is brown eyes. So similarly, like this, on each locus different genes indicating different characteristics are present on the chromosome. So that is what we call it as gene locus. Now what is homozygous? It is an individual organism in which both the alleles of a character are alike. That means similar alleles are present in this particular individual, and we usually call it as pure line. Whereas heterozygous is the one wherein an individual organism which contain contrasting alleles of a trait or a particular characteristic. That means these alleles are having dissimilar factors, and these organisms or the individuals are called as hybrid. We will take an example of alleles indicating homozygous or heterozygous nature in the individuals. Say for example, this particular allele at a particular locus, it is expressing a particular trait. At same locus on the other allele on the homologous chromosome, same trait is being expressed, but one is given as capital A, another one is given small a. Now what are the different possibilities wherein homozygous or heterozygous alleles can be formed? So there are altogether three possibilities which we see here. The first one is the alleles may be similar, that is capital A, capital A. So therefore it will be homozygous capital A, capital A. On the other side, the alleles can be small a, indicating it is homozygous small a, small a. Whereas there can be dissimilar alleles having dissimilar factors capital A, small a, or it can be small a, capital A, but these both are dissimilar factors. So that's how we call it as the alleles which are similar or alike will be pure or will have pure line. Same way with the small a, whereas heterozygous individuals are those which has alleles in the contrasting form, that is capital A, small a. So that is called as heterozygous capital A, small a. For example, these are the genes or alleles which are shown here. Capital Y, small y is what? It is heterozygous. Capital Y, small y, heterozygous. So, it is hybrid. Capital Y is the homozygous, since they are alike, alleles are alike. So, it is pure breed. Small y, again it is homozygous. So, therefore, it is pure. And the other two which are heterozygous having capital Y, small y. So, it depends on what type of factors that are present in the alleles and which one will be expressed are the heterozygous or homozygous. Dominant gene, it is the one which expresses even in the presence of contrast allele. Now, this is a small cartoon which has been shown, a father and a child, just to make us understand what exactly we mean by dominant gene. So, the one which expresses even in the presence of contrast allele. You can see here there are dissimilar factors of alleles that are present. So, what is dominant gene? It is the one or the gene which expresses itself even in the presence of the contrast allele. Which one is recessive? Now, the recessive is the one or a gene which fails to express itself in the presence of the other contrasting allele. So, which one is the recessive gene which is not able to express or gets hidden in the hybrid? Hybrid means it is in presence of the other contrasting allele. It is not able to express itself. It will only express when the dominant gene is absent, when the dominant gene or dominant allele or factor is absent. For example, here there is a cross which is shown between two individuals, that is the heterozygous purple flowers. So, the plants having purple flowers, but both the plants are heterozygous. We can see here the factors are dissimilar. Now, the offsprings which are obtained here, we can see the dominant gene is seen in three individuals. That indicates that capital B is the dominant gene. Capital B, small b is also a dominant gene. Why? Because it expresses in presence of, even in the presence of contrast allele, and the contrast allele is what? Which one? Small b. Whereas small b is able to express in absence of dominant. You can see here there is no dominant gene present. So, therefore, it is able to express itself. Whereas in the other two individual where capital B, small b is mentioned, there since the hybrid or the alternative contrasting allele is present, therefore, small b is not able to express. So, it is hidden in the other way. So, we know now what is the dominant gene and which one is the recessive gene. F1 generation or first filial generation, we had seen in the monohybrid cross with respect to F1 generation. Now, in F1 generation, it is the generation of hybrids that are produced from the cross between two true breeding parental forms. You can see here one of the example which we have taken, that is true breed yellow pod and true breed green pod. When they are crossed together, we get all hybrid varieties in the F1 generation. So, the hybrids that are produced in F1 generation by crossing the true or pure line parents. So, that is about first filial generation. Second filial generation or F2 generation, which is obtained by self breeding the parents. For example, from this F1 generation, the hybrid varieties which were obtained are being crossed or are being the selfing is been carried out or self pollination is carried out. So, that is called as self breeding. So, through self breeding, the varieties which will be obtained in F2 generation, that will be second, or the offsprings that will be obtained in the second generation is called as second filial generation. So, it may be green or the yellow pod which will be obtained in the second generation. So, we see here in this F2 generation, capital G indicate pure dominant form of offspring. Capital G, small g indicates impure form, but it is the dominant offspring, whereas small g is pure, but it is recessive offspring. Genotype and phenotype. Now, what do we mean by genotype? It is the genetic constitution or composition that is present in the genes or in the chromosome, that is the characteristics which are inherited from the parents through genes or alleles, whereas phenotype is the observable characteristics which we are able to see. Genetic constitution, it is with respect to the cells and the DNA or the genes that are present, whereas phenotypic features are the one which we are able to see. For example, here there is the phenotypic and genotypic features which are seen. For example, tall is the or dwarf is the phenotype or the observable characteristic, whereas genotype is the genes that are present. So, it may be capital T or it can be capital T, small t, whereas for dwarfness it will be small t. So, that indicates or gives the clear picture about the genotype when we study. Though when we observe it may be tall, but the genotype may differ. For example, as I said, capital T that is homozygous, or it can be heterozygous, capital T, small t. Punnett square. It is a device that has been created to yield a diagram that allows an easy representation of hybridization data. So, this was used by Mendel in order to explain with his mathematical and statistical logic, wherein he was able to prove the inheritance from one generation to other. Now, here what we have to remember is that with the help of Punnett square, we can also find out the genotypic ratio, phenotypic ratio. We can also find out the percentage of the offsprings which have or which carry that particular factor or characteristic. Now, as it is said, it is a device that has been created to yield a diagram. So, that is in the form of graphical representation, which is very easy for us to understand how the hybridization or to note down the data which can produce through this Punnett square. So, it is like a checkerboard, and this checkerboard was created or devised by a scientist R.C. Punnett, and is used to depict the result of the cross between the two organisms. You can see here the parents and the gametes that have been shown, that is male gametes and female gametes. We usually write down at the top row and left hand side column in such a way that in the squares which are mentioned here, accordingly those particular gametes can be crossed and will be noted down. So, it shows both genotypic as well as phenotypic result from with the help of various combinations of gametes, and can be easily determined through this Punnett square. So, here each of the possible gametes is placed in the individual column as well as rows, with the vertical column representing the female gametes, that is the eggs, and the horizontal column is meant for male gametes, and the gametes are then arranged in all possible combination in the squares which are mentioned, or the boxes that are mentioned with its genotypes. So, the Punnett squares can be carried out, or the cross can be made with any particular parent. It may be heterozygous or homozygous. So, cross may be with the parents of homozygous plants. For example, here how it is shown, capital T homozygous parent, small t other homozygous parent, and accordingly Punnett square can be prepared. Similarly, cross can be made between two heterozygous parents, capital T small t, other parent is also capital T small t. We can also prepare a Punnett square and find out the genotypes and phenotypes from the homozygous parent, both that is, one is homozygous, another one is heterozygous for same particular characteristic. For example, capital T for tallness, capital T small t is meant for also tallness. Or it can be also one parent which is recessive or homozygous recessive, and other parent is heterozygous dominant. So, it depends which are the parents that are supposed to be crossed. So, this way we can understand, or we can prepare the Punnett square and find out the genotypes as well as phenotypes in the while carrying out the hybridization, and we can get the data very easily. So, I hope you all must have understood these basic terms which are very essential to learn about genetics. The remaining basic terms which are there, we will be learning in our next video. Thank you.